Okay, so in today's video, we're going to show you how to make your very own plant propagation box for under $20, even if you don't have any of these supplies, although you likely have a number of these things, if not all these things lying around. For what we're going to show you today, all you really need is a Tote and some Sphagnum Moss. However, I just also wanted to show you guys, we got a little propagation kit here for water propagation. Wanted to recommend using Yoo-hoo bottles, Jardiniere bottles, whatever you have lying around. And then for anyone who's completely new, this is water propagation right here, where you're just taking a cutting and putting it in water. And then we're also going to be showing you my propagation box here. And this is a little bit of a different setup. You're going to grow in the Sphagnum Moss. Once it starts growing roots, you're either going to move it to soil or move it to a larger pot. But this is what we're getting cuttings started in. So let's take all this off here. If you guys are wondering where to get any of this stuff, I'll link to everything down below. I got this on Amazon, probably 20-25 bucks. If you buy it off AliExpress, and I can link to that as well, you can probably get it for about a third or half of the price. Yoo-hoo bottles, what's a Yoo-hoo? $1.50, and you get to drink a Yoo-hoo. And then we'll put this guy back up here for now. Sphagnum Moss, if you don't have it at your local stores, I'll link to a couple good ones on Amazon. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I think I picked this up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby just because I went to a Home Depot and a Lowe's, and in the Midwest, they don't really have gardening stuff this time of year. You can find it at a craft store. The types that they have are typically more meant to be decorative, and they're quite a bit more expensive. So I think this was 10 bucks. Whereas I've gotten like huge bags for $5 before. So if that's your only option, you can do that. If you don't want to have to go anywhere, Amazon. And you probably got scissors around the house. Probably worthwhile to get a pair of either garden clippers or shears, or just a good pair of scissors that you're really only going to use for your plants. Now, the only other thing we need to get this started is just a tote bin. Ideally, I would have liked to have gotten a tote bin with a clear top. However, because this one is pretty tall and it has the big clear sides, we should be able to get plenty of light in there. I think this tote bin was like $6.88 at Walmart, and they had a pretty good selection of them. The only other thing you're going to need to do is put some ventilation. So get some packaging tape, duct tape, painter's tape. I wound up putting 3 strips down here, and then I drilled the holes into the strips. I could only find 1 drill bit laying around at the time, so I drilled smaller holes, although I'll probably wind up going in here with a thicker bit and putting a few more holes in. But I only had a small drill, small drill bit, so wound up just putting more holes. And other than that, you just get your Sphagnum Moss there. You're going to soak that in a bowl with water, or a tub with water, or even a tote like this. Then you're going to drain the water, you're going to squeeze out the Sphagnum Moss, and then kind of layer it. Ideally, I probably would have liked to have had 2 or 3 inches, but this is a pretty big tote, and I didn't want to waste too much moss. So we probably got like, 2 inches there, 2 or 3 inches, I guess, in some parts, of Sphagnum Moss, just soaked, drained, and then kind of pulled apart and scattered over there. From there, all you're going to do is take cuttings of your plants. Take a cutting and just poke it in there. You don't really need it standing up like it would be standing up in a pot. Most people who I've seen do this actually just lay them down on the sides, and that's kind of what I do. Most of this stuff isn't going to want to stand up in Sphagnum Moss, which isn't that supportive. So, we got like a watermelon peperomia here. I don't want to, actually, I guess we'll see. That doesn't want to come in, huh? For some reason, there we go. You guys can see there's a little bit of roots forming there. And all I really did there is kind of lift up some moss. And just kind of tuck him in there sideways. You can see we got a bunch of different plants here. We have a Hoya there. We have a Chinese money plant, or a Palea. I think we have a Calathea, watermelon peperomia. We got a Raphidodora tetrasperma here. What's that, a Crimson Princess, or whatever they call that. This one I'd actually rooted with the water propagation method, and then added it into a pot of sphagnum, and I realized I was forgetting to water this and spray this, so I figured I'll just throw it in here. But yeah, we got a couple different plants in here, and then in the corner, throw a glass of water. I have a mason jar full of water, just so that kind of evaporates off, and we can keep it kind of humid. But again, to do this setup right here, all you're going to need is a tote bin and some sphagnum moss, and you're in business. So you guys got any questions or anything, drop a comment in the comment section below, and we'll catch you on the next video.